Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Carroll. Welcome to another episode of the Sales Factory. I'm super excited for today's episode. This one's been in the works for months. We've been working our schedules, trying to get everything going back and forth. And she's had tons of awards conferences to go to, winning all kinds of trophies and plaques and prizes. But I've got Meyling Marin here with us on the Sales Factory podcast. She is a farmer's agent from California, and I'm super excited to have you in the Sales Factory today. Thanks for coming on for a bit.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's hop into this. Tell the people who they're listening to here, because I see you posting all the time on social media, which I love. Since 2016, I've been telling small business owners, you got to use social media. It's great for driving business. And I see you posting a ton, a lot with your like commercial clients. But you've recently won some awards, right? So take a second to brag on yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I was born and raised in Nicaragua. I had to say that because I came to the US in 2012. So it's been 13 years. And ever since I came, I got into insurance. That was my first job, officially job that I had.
Wow.
I fell in love with insurance. I actually have a background in environmental science. So when I came here, I thought I came to the opportunities and there's going to be a lot of jobs for me. But the reality was in 2012, things were different, were a little difficult. You guys were getting out of the economy, the recession a little.
Recession.
Yeah. So it was really difficult to find something. So I just saw this commercial on TV. You want to change your career, come and apply in person. And I went and I got the job. I worked for that broker for auto and home, like 2 or 3 years. I became the manager, and then I said, well, okay, I think it is the time for me to do this. I love it, and I really like the opportunity to connect with people because I never did sales before, so.
Okay.
I really love the idea that, okay, I'm going to be helping people, but as well, I'm going to be doing something that is a need. You have to have insurance for everything that you do. Can't do that. In my country, everybody's driving with no insurance. And so everybody has paid off homes and they don't have insurance. So yeah, so in here I saw the need and I saw a really good business to be in. And I went to farmers and I said, okay, I'm here to be an agent. I actually worked for an agent, for another successful agent in Riverside, California for a year. And then after a year, I actually went with the intentions to learn about the business, learn about the company. And then I went on my own. So a year later, I say, okay, thank you so much for mentorship and everything. I'm ready to go on my own. So I opened my agency in 2018. And ever since I got here, I have been a go-getter because I see a lot of opportunities. I'm coming from a country where there's little opportunities. There's little opportunities. So when you see that much opportunity here, you just want to wake up every day with the intentions. Let me go get it. Let me go do this. So
Yeah.
ever since the first year, I opened my agency from scratch. And ever
Oh,
since the
wow.
first year, I sold all my phone book, every single customer, every single contact in my phone. I was calling every single contact, and then I got Rookie of the Year the first year, and then Topper Club, which is the the top 10% of the company for 5 years, 2019, 20, 21, up until 23. I got the top 1% of all farmers agents. So
Wow.
that's my brag over there.
I love it. And guys, if you're listening to this, these are the type of people that I try to find to come to the podcast, because I want you guys to get good information. There's a couple things, Meyling, that I want to kind of break down out of there. The first one is what I tell entrepreneurs that come to me that say, Coach, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do. You do what Meyling did. She went and found somebody that was successful doing what she wanted to do, and she learned from them. you have to put in the work, man. There is no like, I don't care what the internet guru tells you. There is no like shortcut to just go straight to the top 1%, right? Like you see she
Exactly.
grinded, she put in the hours, she put in the years of work learning and honing her craft so that then she could go after it and take on the opportunity of becoming her own agent. That's the first one. The second thing I think that is important, and I've got a blog post on coachcarroll.com. The title of it is Hustle Like an Immigrant, because there is just like, there's this like, I don't know, man. I don't come from much. And Mailing, I've shared my story before. Like, my dad never made more than $20 an hour in his entire career. My mom raised me and my brother. And so, like, hustling was just kind of like what we were born into. And it's like, it blows my mind how many people don't understand, like, we're in the land of opportunity here in America. No
Exactly.
matter, and it doesn't matter who's in charge, red team, blue team, that stuff will go back and forth. That doesn't matter the opportunities. You got to be able to play the game no matter who's in charge, and you've done a great job of that. And then, holy smokes, to go rookie of the year. And by the way, for the non-insurance listeners, right, Mailing, why don't you explain what it means to be a scratch agent, and that
Oh.
hill you have to climb, because some of my listeners may not understand the accomplishment and the feat just in and of that.
Crash agency means you got your office with zero policies, which means didn't have any renewal income, you didn't have any policies in force, you just got there to sell from scratch. There is another type of agencies that you can buy a book that is already established and that comes with with an income already. In my case, I only had $2,000 in my account. And when I tell this to other agents that I have the opportunity to tell them, hey, you don't need to have 50,000 in an account to be able to be successful. I had only $2,000 and a big dream that I was gonna do things that I was gonna accomplish it. I did not doubt it one day that I was gonna be where I am here,
I love
providing
it.
employment for 9 people, having people here. I have staff, full-time staff. There are no 1099s. I had to, when they said, you pay that, you pay all of that. Yeah, I have a big payroll. I have a big payroll in California with a lot of benefits. I offer them benefits. So when I tell you I had $2,000, that was all what I had, and that was to pay my rent.
Wow.
And when I was able to open my office, I actually had to lend some money. I had to ask my mom to give me some money to put it as a down payment. And I promised her I was going to pay her in 6 months, and I did it. So, yeah, and it has been a blessing. But the opportunities, talking about the opportunities, we are used to see what you see every day, and you take it for granted, like because you have it on a daily basis, you don't see that, but it's in front of you. This is a country very financially stable. This country, you can, if you have lemons, do lemonade. You have, you just can't really the potential is there. You just have to go get it. And if you don't do it, somebody else is gonna come and do it,
I
like me,
love it. I
like me.
love she said like me. I love that.
But
That's mainly that's where my whole mantra, the hustle, it's worth it, comes from, right? It's like you have to, it's not it's worth it hustle. It's hustle, it's worth it, because the hustle comes first, man. Like, you gotta go out there, you gotta grind. And for some reason, right, like we've went through this like period in time where the hustle and the grind is kind of like been demoted, right? Like, oh, you shouldn't work hard, you shouldn't. And it's like, there are no shortcuts, man. You're gonna have to put in the time, you're gonna have to put in the hours. If it was easy, everybody would do it, is one of my favorite sayings. Mainly talk about, going from scratch, which is like, that's tough in and of itself. When I meet an agent that's successful, let alone a topper or 1%, that has went from scratch to build a business, you know, what were some of those early days? Like, what were the emotions or the feelings that kind of went through your mind? Were there ever moments where you're like, man, maybe this isn't for me? Or like, did you just always stay plugged in and say, hey, we got to fight this thing out? Like, maybe talk to us about some of those darker days that weren't, holding up a one percenter trophy.
I was actually not, I didn't have time to think about,
I
my
love
emotions.
that.
I did not have time to sit down and say, oh, I'm gonna make it, or oh, I'm scared. No, I just wake up every day with intentions to go get it, to go do it. The first 2 years, I work every single day, Sundays, including Sundays. I work
Wow.
every single day. And I did not have time to think about, oh, my fears or things like that. No, I said, okay, I had to do it. I had to do it. It was like a survival mode. When you are in a survival mode, you're not thinking, should I swim so I can get out of this storm or what? No, you just need to go, right? So that was I was hungry. I did not have money. I just had the opportunity to go get it. So I did not see anything of that.
Wow.
So one of the things that I do want to mention is before, okay, first 1 or 2 years, that was the most difficult years. Then when I start seeing more renewables and more income, I hired my first employee a year into the business. And
Okay.
if I had to go back and say, what would I change from my first years as a business owner, I will say I will hire more
Wow.
because the lack of trusting, right? I didn't trust people that
Yeah.
they will do the same job as I did it. I will say, no, 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 no. This is gonna write the policy incorrectly. No, it's
Yeah.
not gonna have the right coverage. So that was something that I learned down the road that, oh, look, I can be gone. And I do a lot of trips for business, I have to say, but for pleasure as
I
well.
follow you on social. You travel and have a lot of fun. That's good.
Yes, and my team get it done. Things that I have don't have to be here, and the
Yeah.
business is running. They're getting policy solved. They're on the top of everything. When I come, I have no notes on my desk that I have to call a bunch of people back.
Yeah.
They take control of everything. I don't get calls from customers. I don't. It's very just maybe one customer a month that I call back for something that is very urgent, a claim or something, but most regular customer service, they're taking care of everything. Something
Wow.
that I did when I was in my third year, I got a 101, it's like a 101 coaching,
Yeah.
but this was more like a mentorship that it's a mentor that he specialized in helping you understand why we do things. Because
Mm.
you are motivated by people, but when you are inspired, that comes from the inside. So from being a top,
Say that again. That was what
okay,
that was good.
so when you people motivate you, right? That is from the outside. It's somebody that you see on a daily basis, or maybe this
Somebody you
this
follow on Instagram or somebody you see in a magazine or something like that.
you're motivated by this person. But what happened when you don't see this person anymore? You're not reading this person anymore. This is coming from the outside. But when you learn to be inspired, that comes from the inside. You're learning that everything that you have within is so powerful that you don't need that actual people from the outside to be motivate you on a daily basis.
Love that, man. There's like we live in such a tough time right now where people, I've heard it said that people are comparing their behind the scenes reel to someone else's highlight reel, right? And like you can get deflated from there. What you're saying is like you want to really succeed, it's got to come from inside of you, right?
Knowing your potential and you're powerful, because the person that we talk more every day is with ourselves, and we
Ooh.
have some limited thinking that no, it's Meyling did it because she's from Nicaragua and she has this background and all this. So you're putting yourself into this type of mentality. And so your brain, it's meant to execute what you're telling yourself. So
Mm.
in your subconscious, so this is a process that I had to relearn everything that I knew about myself. So in my subconscious, I had ideas of fears of things that happened in my past that are affecting my present, the way I take decisions, the way I relate to other people. So when I took this course that was more like a spirituality, more psychology,
Yeah.
And I finally realized, oh my God, I have been doubting about this employee and the way I related to my employees too. So I have been doubting
Mm.
about this employee that he was gonna do this and that. But this was all my shadows that are mirroring a situation that happened in my past. And I'm doubting because something that happened in my past, I'm bringing that into a situation that is not even close to reality. So
Mm.
that give me a different perspective, like the way I see things, how I relate to my employees, and even how I am able to understand them where there is situations where they go through personal things. So I can now be more aware of that. And when I have a situation and I feel my butterflies and here, I'm like, okay, where is this feeling coming from? Okay, let me just digest and use my breathing tools. Like, okay, okay, this situation is relating to something. And that's really powerful. Trust me. When I learned that, the first year I hit the top 1%. The first
Wow.
year I got that. I
Well,
hit my top.
that's Jim Rohn always used to say you got to work on yourself more than you work on your business. And I think that's a true testament to what you just shared with us, right? Is like do that spiritual work, do that powerful stuff that needs to be done. On one of the podcasts earlier today, I was talking about how weird it felt the first time I ever meditated, right? Like back in 2015. But it's like now, I don't go a week without meditating and praying because it's like it's so powerful. And if you become a better person, right? They say that there's levels to the game, and you don't get to those levels until you become the person that deserves to be at those levels. It's not. It's there is a hustle factor, and I love your timeline because it matches back to mine so much when I started my first business in high school and I had to borrow money from my mom and my grandma to get it up and off the ground. And those first couple of years are really survival mode, right? It's like you're just killing anything and everything because you got to eat. But then it like becomes a point where it's like, okay, I can hustle and I can get to a certain level, but then I can hire people, right? And then I'll get to another level because you're delegating. But then there's a leadership transition that happens. And when you become a better leader from who you are and you become a better person and you start pouring into your team and you start building things like company culture and core values and you manage and hire and fire based on all of that, it the unlocks happen. And Mayling's sharing that with you. The first year she got all that stuff figured out inside, right? All those touchy feely mumbo jumbo stuff that a lot of times we just like that doesn't matter. It is super important, man. It is so important to make sure that you're okay internally, because you can't serve others when you're of no service to yourself.
They tell you when you're on the drill that they tell you put your oxygen first and
Yeah.
then you put the oxygen to others. It's exactly the same.
Yes.
So I did the work to be better at what I do, be better how the concept that I have about myself, be better the way I relate to myself, because sometimes we are so we critique ourselves so much that we put a lot of weight on ourselves.
Yeah.
We're thinking, oh, I should be doing, oh, I have been an agent for 20 years and I don't even have 3 staff members. That's a lot of pressure on yourself. So, but that's a work that you had to do on yourself to know exactly what is in there. You had to uncover the things that were in the past that affect the present. So one of the things that I wanted to share, it's about like 2 years ago when I had my best year and I was able to buy my first house. So
Okay.
I was
Congrats.
driving, thank you. So I was driving down the freeway and then I got a call. I was on my way to sign the final the closing. I'm gonna sign everything that day,
Mhm.
and I had to get my keys. And then the farmers district manager, he had the other territory manager in the line, and he said, "Oh, Meiling, we want to congratulate you. You are President's Consul. You were selected as President's Consul. This is a designation for 100 agents out of 13,000 agents. This is
Wow.
the top 1%. You're qualified with the production of last year. So that was, and I was driving. So when he called me, I was driving and I was just in tears, just in tears. And oh, I couldn't even believe it. This was something like huge for my career, was something like I couldn't even digest. I was driving and I was crying, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm on my way to sign the closing statements for my house." And he was like, "Wow, Meyling." And I was just crying and thinking about my two kids. I have a 10 years old and a 20 years old. And I was thinking, oh my God, ever since the first day I got into the insurance business as a business owner, I really, I promised them, I'm gonna get you guys in a better place. I'm gonna get you guys to a better place. I'm gonna do this for you guys.
Wow.
And oh my God, that day everything came like a story, you see like this screen or of all the things that you went through. It is worth it.
Yeah.
You
And
said it is worth
I would say that there was probably a higher player there in order that you got that call on that day to make it that special.
it. Amen.
And so that's awesome, man. Let's talk a little bit, because I mean this is amazing. I love hearing your story. It's so inspirational, and I know a lot of people will be able to relate to that. Um, Talk to me a little bit about like leading the team. And sometimes I think maybe people don't strive for success because sure they're afraid of failure, but I also think that sometimes people don't strive for success because they know that once they get to the top of that mountain, now they're held to a different standard, right? And so sure, you got that toppers club, you got that 1%, that president, but now it's like, how do we stay here, right? Because it's not just you want to go there and then never do it again. So talk to us about the mindset and the shift maybe in management, or some of the things that you have to do now that you're not hungry, right? Maybe the bills aren't coming on pink slips anymore like they used to, and the landlord's not knocking at the door because rent's past due. Talk to us now, like now that you're out of survival mode, how do we go to thriving mode?
Yeah, one of the things that helps me a lot is when you get to this point, you got a lot of things on your plate, honestly. Even my sister has to say, "Do I need an appointment to talk to you?" Like at that point,
Yeah.
really. And she's very like, she knows she can call me anytime, but she's like, "Do I need an appointment? I have been calling you, whatever." But
Yeah.
really, we get super busy, and we had to learn how to balance our time and how to manage family pressure and business. And one of the things that I do every single day, I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I get my workout done. That's my me time. That's my me time. That helps me to keep myself healthy, because if this temple is out of control, everything else is not gonna work. So I prioritize my health. I work out 5 to 6:30, and then I take care of my kids because I'm still a mom.
Yeah.
So I take care of my kids, drop him home to school, and then come to work. And we have plans of what to do. And one of the things that I will always do is training.
Mm.
Training, it's like a muscle. You have to train your team, going to basics. Every time that you see something is off, I go back and coach and train. So, and how do I do that? I had to be trained first. So I train myself. I'm always reading. I like to read what is changing in the company, the guidelines. I like to make sure we are understanding what we're selling, make sure we are up to date in everything. So I'm always training, training, training. So
Wow.
if you get to this point, you hold yourself at a higher level. And so for me, it's like we're not going back. Even when the insurance crisis came to California, we know farmers shut down auto and home. We had
Yeah.
restrictions. We had no renewals. We had a lot of going on. And
Yeah.
to have an open mentality of, I am not an auto and home insurance agent. Up until that point, I was.
Mm.
90% of my business was auto and home. But now I have all this stuff. that I'm not gonna let them go. That was my responsibility. And I wasn't thinking about
Wow.
my check. I was thinking about them because I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let them go. And I sat down with them and I said, guys, everybody's gonna let people go. I'm not gonna let you guys go, but I need you to be in with me with the plan that I have. And what's the plan, Maylene? I said, okay, we're gonna do business insurance now. We have a lot of other products that we can sell.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell business insurances. So I transitioned my entire new business
Okay.
production to business insurance in 2022.
Yeah, because I mean, like I remember, like I mean, and again, we work with some of the biggest State Farm farmers, Allstate agents, and it's like I know of an Allstate agent in California. He had 22 team members. He cut back to 11. Like I mean, it was just like because it kind of went full stop, right? And for those that you don't know, I'll give you a quick little synopsis because trust me, I've had plenty of feedback from everyone. There essentially was a guy, an elected guy that was over Department of Insurance, and the company's like, hey, we need to get rate increases because our risk has increased. And the guy was up for reelection, and he was like, nope, not passing any of those for a couple of years. None of the insurance providers could get any increases. So I was recently in California, and it was funny because I was talking to some of the residents there, and a lot of people are mad at the insurance companies right now because of the fires and whatnot. And I was like, well, they couldn't get the red, blah blah blah. And they're like, so you're on the insurance company side? I'm like, well, they have a business to run, and like if you can't get, if you can't run the business, it puts everything at risk. And so you're like, I love you're just. I just finished my book called The Hunter Head Game, and you're like literally the hunter mentality that I talk about in there, which is like, okay, well, we can't eat gazelles anymore. What are we just going to starve? It's like, no, we're going to go start chasing zebras now, right? Like, you just have to find something else to hunt. And I talk about in the book hunting the game that's in season, right? And so auto and
Exactly.
home went out of season. We had to pivot and go to business. So how is that? Like, if you guys are used to maybe buying leads or having prospecting community locally to get auto and home, like what was that transition like to go from being a PNC personal lines type business to now we're like all into business lines, which most of the time is what like independent agents are doing, right? They're mainly more commercial.
Exactly.
How did that transition happen and what was that like?
Yeah. Well, everything that I knew about numbers game, right? About marketing, I knew I need to be big and to have this much of numbers, then we need to have quoting activity. So my goal was, okay, let me start going after what's going to be my marketing. So I told my team, okay, you guys just trust me. We're going to be fine. Trust me, we're going to be fine. I want you guys to be with me. We're gonna train for 2 weeks straight. Train
Whoa.
every day, train every day, train every day, learning the quoting platforms, learning the specific what industry we are going to. So we went after contractors and body shops. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Auto service and repair and contractors and workers' comp.
Okay.
So train every day. We sign up with farmers on courses and all that. And then I said, okay, one of the things that we had to do is to make sure we have enough quotes in the system. And we know the rule. We're gonna be quoting 100 and we're gonna be closing maybe 15.
Okay.
So I design how much premium you need to be able to get this much of income and how many quotes we need to get to that premium. So we break it down, and at the end, we said we need per producer 3 to 5 quotes per day. And
I
so
love it.
that's all. If you need to do 200 calls to get to your 3 quotes, that's fine. If you're really good and we train on how to call and, we didn't do any in-person visit. Everything was over the phone. So
No
there,
kidding.
yeah.
Whoa. I love that even more than you guys were just dropping off donuts and business cards and saying, hey, call me if you need a quote. You're banging the phones, which that was my first book, Phenomenal Phone Calls. That's how I built my first business, was just picking up the phone and dialing, right? Smiling and dialing for dollars. So you guys just straight up start hitting the phones, calling commercial clients saying, hey, can we quote your insurance?
Yes, and we change our mentality from going for the yes to go for the no.
Hmm.
So I read a book of the 100 notes for the one yes.
Mm-hmm.
So and the book says like if you get a no, that's getting your goal accomplished, because that no is stopping you to get the yes. So you got it. When you are training your team, I tell my team, did he say no? That's good. You're closer. So go for the no, go for the
Like,
no, because
yep.
we need to mark down all the ones that are gonna say no until we find that one or two client that is in need of the quote. That's
Yep.
all what we want. And so, yeah, so we
Yeah.
did that, and we, they start quoting. We put over 600 quotes in less than 4 months or 6 months.
Wow.
And we closed, I would say, like the first year, it was almost half of the year. I think we closed over 500,000 in premium
Wow.
the first six
Just
months.
off of banging the phones, man. Holy smokes. We'll drop a cash register sound effect on that one and take that one to the bank because that is insane. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your team. I also think that you are just literally like the textbook story of what managing the right way, leading the right way, training your team. Hello, you guys shut down for 2 weeks and went to boot camp basically on, hey, this is how we are going to, sell this stuff to these new clients. And what I really love is that all it says this in the Bible that all work provides profit, right? And so like all work pays off. So now guess what happens 2 years later? Meyling now has an agency. Oh wow, we can write auto and home. Hey, we have a slew of business owners that we now can go get auto and home from.
Exactly.
And guess what? Business owners don't have small houses, and business owners typically got more than one car. And so you guys have built a pipeline now to like bounce back even harder. So congratulations to you guys. There's no secret why I'm seeing you at every other award ceremony holding up a plaque. You're doing it the right
Thank you.
way.
Thank you. Thank you. And one of the things that I always say is like, when you learn to diversify your book, your business, whatever you're doing,
Mhm.
just you're not relying your entire career in one line. That's
Yeah,
gonna help you survive through the good and the bad. I mean, is you're gonna
yeah,
go not only survive, thrive, and be successful when you have this open mentality of, okay, this is it. Okay, let's do
yeah,
commercial. Let's do,
yeah.
and every time that they call, they will say, we'll specialize in business insurance. And they were in the business for maybe 2 weeks. You gotta
Hey,
fake it until you make it.
yeah, you don't have to be an expert to specialize in something, right? So, if you specialize in it, that's okay.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's awesome. Maybe Mailing, as we kind of wrap up here, are there any books that you read? Are you a reader? Do you like reading books, or are you just like, no, I'm just training my team and rock and roll? I know you mentioned the Go for No. I'll do a quick little plug for the podcast. That book, I actually interviewed the author, I think 2 seasons ago. So if you guys are
Oh,
interested, you go to coachcarroll.com/podcast, go back to some of the old episodes. And we actually had, I think her name was Maria, maybe. That's probably not right. But Go for No is one of the podcasts. We had the author, the co-author on. So great book. Apparently, a lot of people have read that book, and it's been a game changer for them to shift their mentality. But are there any other books that you could recommend to the listeners out there?
Ed Miles. I don't know if you have heard about him.
Ed
He's
Milet,
really, yep.
or yeah,
I
yeah,
follow his Instagram, and then I read his book, the what's it called? One more, the one more, what's it
uh,
called?
yeah. What is? Because I've read that one as well. This is the other problem
Yeah,
when you read a lot of books. It's like it's hard to keep up with.
yeah.
One more rep, maybe. Ed Milet.
That was the power of one more. The
Yeah,
power of
The
one
Power of
more.
One More. Yep,
Yeah, the
yep.
power of one more. That was a really good book. But I listen to books because
I do
I
too.
have now, ever since I bought my house, I have a 45 minutes drive. So okay, so I see the opportunities, right? Now
Yeah,
I have the opportunity to listen to books. And
yeah.
I'm always trying to put a lot of positive energy, positive things, learning from others. I never stop learning.
I love
I
that.
I will always sit down and listen to other agents, no matter what they're saying. I mean, I just want to learn one thing that I can take away that's gonna make changes in my business. So
Yeah,
I'm always trying to learn to be better. I'm always open to see other people's success and see what they're doing. I don't think I know everything. I'm always willing to learn. And the putting yourself, adapting yourself to different circumstances is going to help you be successful too.
Yeah. I love that.
Adapting.
You have to stay a student, no matter, because there's always every mountaintop I get to the top of, right? There's like, I see another one that's bigger and it's like, oh, I didn't even know that thing exists, right? You might think making $1,000 a week is a lot of money until you meet somebody making $1,000 a day. You might think, then $1,000 a day is a lot until you meet somebody making $1,000 an hour, right? And so the levels will continue to go up, and that's why you have to continue to build up your tribe and get around better people, learn better things. I also love your mindset shift there, right? Like Meyling could have been like, I bought this house. It's 45-minute commute. Golly, I gotta say California traffic, but she's saying, no, hey, here's an opportunity for me to read my book, right? To listen to my audiobook. I'm the same way. My farm here in Kentucky, it takes me about 3 hours to mow the grass. I could hire a landscaper, right? But one of the rappers I listened to, he said, "You don't fuck with a millionaire that mows his own lawn, right?" It's like, and it's
Exactly.
kind of where I'm at with it. It's like I could afford to pay somebody, but those 3 hours, that's the space that I have blocked throughout the summer that I know I can just deep dive, listen to my audiobook, and nothing's bothering me, right? And so those paradigm shifts I think are super important, and they'll continue to happen as you just continue to level up. And so no matter where you're at in business, no matter where you're at on the ladder, maybe you've never gotten started in business, maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you're a top agent like Meyling, you're tuned into the sales factory and you're taking some things away. One thing that I love is that success leaves clues, man, and what you'll listen to as a guest on the podcast, as a listener on the podcast, you'll hear these people that I continually bring on, and if they're top performers, they're all seeing the same thing. They take care of their body. They work out. They're mentally and spiritually strong, right? They're working on their environment. They're always trying to improve it. They got their finances in order, right? They got their health and their fitness. Like there's just certain frameworks that you have to work inside of if you want to get to certain levels of this game.
Everything is gonna come from the inside. So once you do your work, a successful person is not the result of just because he's really good in sales. That doesn't happen like that. It happens when you align in your inside. In your inside, you align your mind, your body. And once those are good, you feel unstoppable. Like you can do whatever you want when you have control of your emotions. That's
Love it.
something that it's amazing. So Milet, how you pronounce it, Milet,
Yeah, Milet.
he talked about the control of your emotions a lot. Like the fact that somebody tells you, "Oh, you look so ugly," and you don't feel like it relates to me. It's like I'm not offended. So like when somebody wants to throw trash at you, you're not a dumb trash to get the trash inside of you. You're not gonna get like upset. So the power of controlling your emotion is gonna help you be successful as well. Because
Yeah.
emotions, everything is emotions here. We have customers yelling at you, yelling at
Oh
your
yeah.
staff.
Yeah.
So when I train, I talk about those things as well with my staff. I tell them, I tell them about emotional intelligence. I tell them about, and it's funny because my staff, they also like to work out. And that happened recently, 2 years from now. Like recently, they are like, okay, we want to be like Maylene. Oh, I don't want to eat this much sugar because Maylene is here. I said, don't worry, don't worry. Like they know I eat healthy, I take care of myself, I eat healthy. So this hold you to a different level of leadership.
Yeah.
This hold you to a different level of leadership.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. This has been great, Manly. I appreciate you coming on the Sales Factory. There's so much that we unpacked here, guys, from the spirituality to the health and fitness side of things to being a good leader. Manly, if people want to connect with you, maybe there's some other ladies that are up and coming and maybe have a similar background. Like, hey, I want to connect with her. She somebody I'd like to have in my corner. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can add me in social media. My social media and Instagram is Maylene underscore insurance underscore agent
Okay.
or Meyling Marin and Facebook. Or yeah, they can email me if they want, and I can send you the email and you can post it there, my email too. But
Perfect.
yeah, I'm happy to help. I'm always willing to help others. As a result, I forgot to tell you this. I am part of a nonprofit organization. As a business owners and leaders that we are making an impact on a community, we also should think about giving back,
Okay.
because life is going
Love
to
that.
bring back whatever you let go. So I belong to a nonprofit organization called Prosperity Homes. They build homes for low income families in Mexico.
Okay.
And you can say Ensenada, Mexico, right? Why there? These people are the one who provides the fruits and vegetables that we eat on a daily basis. So we go there, we build homes. The project builds 12 houses a year.
Wow.
But I made it as a goal to build one home per year. And so
Wow.
we raise the funds, we go there 3 days. I take my kids to see and to stay grounded, to stay humble, that look what is there, look what they
Yeah.
have there, look what we have here.
Yeah.
And so that's the only call that I will say to all the people that are listening, that don't never forget that you are part of a community, be the good impact to the community. Don't just be a prophet too for the people. Don't be just trying to collect from the community and no giving back.
I love that. I love that. Meyling, thank you so much for being a guest today on the podcast. Definitely a different tone, different spirit than we normally have, and it's so refreshing to hear a success story. And I wish you many more years of success. Even though I know that that's kind of a given at this point. Nobody rises like you do and then just falls off. You're going to keep hustling, and I look forward to having you on again in the future and tracking your progress. And yeah, we'll get you back on an episode in the future real soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Guys, if you guys haven't subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do so. Hit the thumbs up, the like, the share, leave a comment, and invite other people to check this episode out. And also, share this out in a text message or an email if you think this would resonate with somebody that you have in your circle. As always, we want to help this get out to more people so we can help them grow, because I truly believe that entrepreneurs solve most of the problems in this world. And if we can be successful, we can give back, just like Meyling was saying with houses there. You guys know I do give projects with Family Scholar House. And I think that that's just one of the big pieces and one of the fundamental pillars is once you dream more, do more, and become more, then you get to give more. And that's one of the most fulfilling parts of success. And so until next time, I'll see you guys soon. I'm Coach Carroll. Hustle, it's worth it.